Hello and welcome to History Walks with
Dawn and
John.
We want to share with you our wonderful and interesting walks.
That's right, walks that take you back through Britain's fascinating history, where we discover the quirky, the offbeat and at sometimes the downright amazing.
So we hope that you're going to stick with us for today's walk.
And let's see where that walk's going to take us.
So here we are at Penistone Railway Station.
That's right, there used to be two railway stations in the Pennine town of Penistone. Now this is the only one that remains. And the reason we're here is this lays claim to being Britain's unluckiest railway station.
Why was that, John?
That's because in the 19th and 20th centuries, passengers travelling to the station, through the station out the other side, experienced a number of significant railway disasters, some of which were fatal. So I'm currently standing on platform 1 of the current Penistone railway station, but on the 16th of July 1884, sadly several dozen people who wanted to pass by the spot that I'm standing on never made it. So let's go and find out why. So we've just walked 2.5 miles in a westerly direction from Penistone railway station, nearly at the site of the disaster we're going to talk you through. But just on the trail behind us is the White Cottage for obvious reasons. It was an old level crossing master's cottage. As you can see now, the old Penistone to Manchester railway line is part of the Trans-Pennine Trail. Very popular route, as you've just seen, for cyclists, runners, walkers, horse riders and leisure and pleasure seekers of all descriptions.
This railway closed in 1981, although all the way along this walk, if you look closely enough, you'll see many old relics that tells the story of that railway line. Some stunning views as we walk along.
We have the village of Millhouse Green in the distance. So as we walk up this trail, which as I said is the line that ran from Sheffield to Manchester, which was opened in 1845, this section, we marvel at the solidity of the engineering that we can see around us. Coming up we can see one of the many bridges which traverse this trail, and we often think about the lives of the engineers who built them, of the navvies who toiled, hacking away, making this railway cutting we're walking through now, hardening up the embankments, which we'll come to shortly, and we think about the solidity and almost eternal nature of the Victorian engineering which formed this railway. So we can see that this bridge would originally have taken 3 separate track lines, 2 under the arch that we're about to walk under, and another one the arch to our left. We can also see just above the bridge some recent examples of folk art that have sprung up along this trail in the last decade or so.
So over here we can see the rock blasting that had to be done to make this railway.
Yeah, this deep cutting that we're walking through at the minute. This bridge with this passed under is called Eckland's Bridge.
Okay, so we continue on and we walk towards the...
Well, it's just a couple of 100 yards and we come to the site of this terrible railway disaster which took place in 1884. So peaceful now on this Sunday afternoon, actually apart from a plane approaching Manchester Airport, but generally so peaceful. Sounds of the birds, tranquility of nature, but a very different story that took place on the 16th of July, that tragic year of 1884.
So we've been walking down this narrow section of railway, and then we've sort of come up and opened up into this wider section.
Behind me is Bullhouse Bridge. Now, we've talked about the enduring nature of the Victorian railway construction. This bridge was put in 2000 as part of the Millennium Project. As we can see, it's currently closed because it's rotting away already. However, on the 16th of July 1884, a train set off from Manchester, what is now Piccadilly Station, at 12:30 p.m, carrying about 100 passengers. It was making its way about 50 miles an hour from the opposite side of that bridge when the engine driver heard a crack, and it came tumbling down off the railway and down the embankment you can see to my left.
Because we can't actually walk over the bridge at the moment due to it being closed, we're going to make our way down and cross the road to get to the other side. And as we do so, we take in some of the art that John mentioned earlier. Here we have...
It's meant to be a wild boar.
A wild boar, right, okay. It's quite a scary looking creature, isn't it? So apparently this is where the former colliery was, and we're now walking down to the other side of the bridge. Beautiful hills in the distance.
So behind us, we can see the direction from which the train was approaching. We can see how the railway line bends round, and we think that the force of the turning the corner is what forced the carriages off the track and down into the area behind us to our left, and they carried on screeching, and the railway engine actually carried on another 200 yards or so before the driver was able to stop it and come back to the scene of the carnage. Now, a railway company doctor, a Dr. Wilson, was sent for. Word reached Penistone at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and he and the station master made their way up on a specially commandeered train to see what was happening.
So when the doctor arrived, there was chaos, there was people screaming, there was dead people, there was people seriously injured.
And some school children had run up across the field from school, Millar Green School, just half a mile away down there. And the doctor organised for a special train to take some of the injured that way towards Manchester, and another train took the dead that way towards Penistone.
So we continue walking towards continue walking west
up towards Dunford Bridge. You see another one of the fine bridges that remain. This bridge would have been the last sight that many of those poor souls saw on that tragic day in 1884.
So I guess this is what they call art as well on the Transpennine Trail. So on this part of the trail, there's some really deep cut-ins. You can see how steep it is here. I think this is the steepest section, isn't it, between Penistone and Dunford Bridge. So that was one of many disasters on this section of railway line.
That's right, the first one actually involved a cow up at Dunford Bridge, another couple of miles up the trail, 1845. A drover was unable to get his cow off the line, engine hit it, and it allegedly split the cow in two.
Ooh,
yes. And then there were several other disasters throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries, this side of Penistone and just the other side of Penistone, many of them involving fatalities.
Yes, but we don't want to end this walk on a sad note. So we don't want to end this lovely walk on a sad note. So now John's going to tell you a happier tale.
So yes, let's end with a more heartwarming tale of Ben and Muriel Beaver. Now, there's a newspaper report here from 1973 which talks about Ben, age 72, Muriel, age 71, who lived in a railway type cottage, literally where we're standing now. Trains would thunder past multiple times a day because the railway line was still open then, and they would wash by hand. There was no electricity in the house, and the couple used to walk to market in Penistone twice a week for their provisions. They're offered many council houses, but Mrs. Beaver said, oh no, we couldn't get used to living with neighbours now. We're happy here and we'll continue living here as long as we can. Now you can see there's a nice little display board, some flowers, we've even got a little Christmas tree there, and I think this has been put together by one of Ben and Muriel's descendants to mark the place where their ancestor lived and the many happy years they spent here. I think it said in 1973 they've been living here for 40 years already. People who don't like change and are happy where they are. God bless Ben and Muriel Beaver.
So this is as far as we're going up the trail today, up the Transpennine Trail.
Yes, we hope you've enjoyed and appreciated the stories we've told today. This is the first in a series of vlogs we're going to make about walks we do through history. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. If you're new to this channel, as I guess most of you will be because this is the first vlog we've ever done on this channel, please subscribe as we continue to grow this channel
and bring you some wonderful stories as we walk through history. So we hope that you've enjoyed this channel. We hope that you'll tune in on other occasions and you'll come along with us on some of the walks that we take you through.
So we hope you'll see us on the next history walk with
Dawn
and John.